Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Daybreak.
With Halloween right around the corner, we've got all the details on what spooky activities are going on here at Point Park.
And we have the latest on what stars are headlining one of the newest shows on Broadway.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now.
A bit of drama unfolded at an iconic Pittsburgh sandwich shop this weekend, as Ohio Senator and Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance found himself temporarily restricted from entering a Primanti Bros in North Versailles. Vance was apparently on a campaign stop when restaurant staff appeared to not let him inside, reportedly even threatening to call law enforcement. This incident sparked frustration among Vance's supporters, with some walking out and canceling orders in protest. However, Vance eventually entered the restaurant, paid for everyone's meals, and said, quote, "We gave them a nice tip, and of course, when I gave a nice tip, I said, no tax on tip," end quote. Interestingly, this comes right after the chain was visited by Vice President Kamala Harris, who held an event at a different Primanti Bros location in August with no issues. Primanti Bros later issued a statement calling the situation a, quote, "momentary confusion," end quote, due to the unplanned and unannounced nature of Vance's visit.
Previews for Tony Award winner Sam Gold's rendition of Romeo and Juliet started at the Circle in the Square Theater Thursday, September 26th, with its run already extended from popularity. This production stars 2021 West Side Story's Rachel Zegler and Heartstopper's Kit Connor as the fated lovers, making it both of their Broadway debuts. The show features music written by Jack Antonoff, yes, the Taylor Swift one, and choreography by Sonia Taye, known for her choreography for Moulin Rouge and Rent Live. Bootleg clips have already hit social media, with fans praising both Zegler and Connor's performances. After the first night of previews, there was a sort of stage door party where cast members and fans alike danced to Chapel Roan. Following previews, the show will open Thursday, October 24th, and run until February 16th. So make sure to get your tickets soon if you're going to be in the Big Apple. Now, I think it's so fun to have, getting to the age in our generation where we're seeing our stars kind of assume these roles. I've always been obsessed with Broadway and different musicals, so it's just so fun to see all of these upcoming stars kind of make their way. What do you guys think about, Rachel Zegler, Kit Connor, I love them.
Totally agree. It's so interesting to see people kind of more in our age range becoming big names and moving into these big roles. I've always loved Broadway, so it's cool to see them doing Broadway, and the fact that I could go and see them, that's awesome.
No, I agree completely.
I think it's like you said, I think seeing something our age is actually crazy because we didn't, I don't know, it's just been a really long time since it's been people in our age group, so that's really fun because I'm oh, you're my age, but you're on Broadway, wait, okay, but still it's awesome.
Because now that we're not kids anymore, if there was people our age on Broadway that were playing a child role, it was something special. So it's cool to see them playing grown adult real roles on Broadway.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just I feel it's such a monumental occasion. Also, just we have this amazing team putting the show together, and I mean, Romeo and Juliet's something that people have done a million times over, and the fact that they're making it new with music and the interpretation of it is really incredible in my mind, and I'm really excited to see any more slightly illegal clips that I can find.
For sure.
October is officially upon us, and what better way to bring in the spooky season than by celebrating at some on-campus and even off-campus events this month. Starting the season off strong, the Moonlight Movie Club will be hosting a Halloween movie night on October 8th from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the University Center, room 212. The event is advertised on Point Sync as, quote, "an awesome night of Halloween entertainment," end quote, and also lists free stuff as a perk. Next up, we have a classic event, the PPAD Pumpkin Carving Event, hosted by Campus Activities Board, also known as CAB, on October 12th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on the second floor of the Student Center. The event is described as an event where students can carve or paint pumpkins while enjoying free pumpkin snacks. CAB is also offering a promotional price of $15 for tickets to Kennywood Theme Park's Phantom Fall Fest on October 18th. According to Point Sync, tickets will be on sale in the Lawrence Hall lobby on October 14th from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. CAB's monthly bingo event takes a scary turn, as prizes at the annual late night bingo event will be horror movie themed. Horror movie bingo will take place in the Lawrence Hall Ballroom on October 17th from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. For more details on any of these events and more events throughout the month, make sure to check out Point Sync.
Sassy, childlike, and chubby describes the hippo that is taking the internet by storm. Mudang is a baby hippo in the eastern Thailand Khao Keo Open Zoo. Mudang received her fame from her viral videos on TikTok for her sassy and bouncy behavior. In fact, Mudang means bouncy pig. Many of the hippo's viral videos have a lot to do with her adorable chubby cheeks. However, it was her feisty attitude that won fans over. A constant seen throughout all of Mudang's videos are of her biting her trainer during bath time or cuddled up close by her mother. It seems that the internet can't get enough of her baby cuteness and childlike chaos that seems to be recognized in all walks of life. Many people on the internet are asking the question, why does Mudang bite? A heavy debate among fans. Some say it's because she is fed too aggressively. However, the most viable reason for her constant biting is because of her teething. I guess babies will be babies. Even though Mudang's videos can seem silly to most viewers, she's bringing awareness to her race. There are only 3,000 pygmy hippos left in the wild. The zoo hopes that her cuteness and sassy attitude will stick around, not only just because, quote, her cuteness needs to stick around, but because of the cause backing her, end quote. So, I think it's kind of fun. Like, there's even like Pesto the penguin is like the largest like baby penguin bred in captivity right now, and I think it's kind of crazy that it's like we're all obsessing over like baby animals. I don't know. It's like the whole world is too. It's not just like.
I think it's just like human nature. Like you think even like early internet days, like when there'd be like cat videos and stuff. I feel like it's just like a constant throughout like human attention span. We always go to our like pets and animals, which I think is fun. And I also just love the relevance of Mudang, like SNL doing like a whole like everything about Mudang. I think that kind of stuff is just so fun to see.
Yeah.
I agree. Then moving gears towards Halloween, how are you guys feeling about some of these events on campus? Are you planning on attending any of those?
Halloween is my favorite season. It's like my whole family's favorite season, and so I'm really excited to try and go to as much as possible and make sure that my family's kept in the loop of what I do because I love Halloween and they do too.
Real.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for especially like because I know like Point Park like we go like pretty much all out for like a lot of like the holidays that we have here and stuff like that. And so I know that like CAB and like the other just on-campus organizations are gonna put together like all of these fun events, and just having like the ability to go to all of them. I don't know. I'm just very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm so excited to like, paint a pumpkin.
So true.
For sure.
But we're gonna be back right after a quick break. But when we get back, we have a special guest joining our Sideline Slice host to talk about the end of the 2024 Pirates season.
Don't go anywhere, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Sideline Slice. I'm Jake Bell, and joining me is my good friend, Nathan Shivens. We will be talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates, who ended the 2024 season at 76-86, which was the same record they had last year. Despite Paul Skeens being everything he was advertised to be, and maybe better, along with a full season of O'Neal Cruz, some key contributors faced regression, and what caused the stalemate of the season. This will be a crucial offseason for the Bucs, as next season will be the 10-year mark since their last playoff appearance, where they dropped the wild card round to the Cubs. So my first question for you, Nathan, is obviously, like, we had a lot of guys that did well in 2022, but then they kind of regressed in 2023. Right. Who do you think really needs to step it up if the Pirates want to have any sort of success for next year?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who really need to step up for the Pirates. I think especially Ke'Bryan Hayes. He got the big contract, 8 years, $70 million at the start of the 2022 season. And he just really hasn't produced, especially this past season. The back injuries has really derailed him so far. And with the big money that the Pirates dished out for him, you really need him to produce and play well next season, because that contract looks really bad now. And if it continues to look this way, the Pirates won't have success going forward. So I would say Ke'Bryan Hayes, but a lot of guys like David Bednar really need to step up for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually also going to say Bednar as well. He was so good in recent seasons. It's almost like what Chris Boswell was in 2018. You know, he was lights out and then just has a really random bad year.
Right.
And I'm hoping that's the same for Bednar. I think we can assume he has the shot to come back. So, yeah, for sure. That's who I would go with. But and my last question is, of all the guys that really stepped it up, actually, and kind of surprised us, who do you think surprised us the most on this team?
Yeah, for me, it's Joey Bart. I mean, he came in, it was a trade from the Giants. He was a top pick from the Giants several years ago. They got him for a minor league pitcher, and he was just excellent this season. I mean, his OPS was over 800 for a large part of the year. He was hitting a ton of home runs and doubles and extra base hits, and he provided a lot of really good leadership behind the plate as a catcher. And I think going forward, he could be somewhere, in the top of the lineup for a really good Pirates team. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can do as catcher one going into next season.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big Joey Bart fan as well, but I'm also going to go with Dennis Santana. He was a guy that got DFA'd from the Yankees and kind of struggled in his MLB career, and then he comes to the Pirates, and unless Bednar has a spot secured, he could be our closer next year. We don't know. It depends what they go with, but I'm going to go with Dennis Santana for sure. But that's all we have for this week's Sideline Slice. I'd like to thank Nathan for joining us, and I'll be sending things over to Ethan Rowinski to PolitiSmack this week's political news. Ethan?
This past Tuesday, vice presidential candidates J.D. Vance and Tim Walz had their first and only debate of the 2024 election. While still in the era of Trump's style of debating, this one was notable for its more civil tone, with little to no name-calling, no extreme faces, and really no memeable moments at all. A stark contrast from the previous debate between Trump and Harris. Vance spent much of the night playing a counter to Trump's more extreme delivery style by giving calm, direct answers to multiple questions on abortion and the housing crisis. However, even these answers, most notable in his responses to the topic of climate change and the immigrant in Springfield, Ohio, were based on fickle arguments. Vance claimed that the Haitian immigrants in Springfield aren't there legally, they are, and when discussing climate change, he said that the two candidates should say climate change is based on carbon emissions, quote, just for the sake of argument, so we're not arguing about weird science, end quote, seemingly dismissing that notion entirely. Walz, on the other hand, seemed like he was not in a comfortable position for most of the night, often stammering from nervousness, and like he was out of his debate prep. From the first question, where he turned the question on Middle Eastern affairs to attacking Trump, he seemed like he was more prepared to support Harris and go after Trump than support his own viewpoints. This was made most clear when CBS made him answer for claiming he was in China during the Tiananmen Square massacre on a school trip during his early campaigns for Congress, when in reality he was only there in the months after the event. Tim Walz stammered before claiming he was a, quote, knucklehead, end quote, and that he misspoke. Walz did finally make a strike, however, when the topic of abortion came up halfway through the debate, rebuting the idea asserted by Vance that abortion should be left to the states, discussing the case of a woman who died traveling for an abortion and saying, quote, how can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography, end quote. Overall, the debate was a showcase of both candidates and how they want to frame themselves for this race. Like I was saying, this debate really was notable for how, un-Trump-like it was. It's kind of the best way to put it. It was very civil, very calm, and just very direct between both of them.
Yeah, no, it was a very nice mix between what we had seen, like in the presidential debate. It was a little bit more hostile, especially between the candidates and stuff. And this time they were very welcoming. We got to see at the end their wives came out and they had an actual genuine conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And it seemed more humanistic.
Yeah, there were even points throughout the debate where Vance and Walz were there's even some points I agree with my candidate. Mm-hmm. And that definitely, of course, they might get, some flack from their campaigns, being you can't talk about the other candidate and be nice to them. But it was nice for, just for the American people to see that, there can be some civility between the two candidates, even if some of their arguments, may have been misspoken or just flat out wrong. You know.
No, for sure. I found that really interesting too, because I was just like, I was seeing videos of like contrast between like Trump and Kamala versus like other presidents, and like the other presidents were very like formal, more, and then it's like, and then Trump and Kamala. But then I saw that and I was like, this is kind of nice. It was like
Yeah, for sure.
background noise, honestly.
You would almost think it's those two running for president.
Yeah, I mean, that's been really interesting is that Vance's approval rating is the lowest between any of the 4 candidates. Walz, on the other hand, is the highest of any of the candidates, even more than Kamala's is, which I thought was very, very interesting. However, it's up for debate whether this is going to have any actual impact on the race. Vice presidential candidates in general don't usually have a large impact on the election, and then whether people even watch the debate, that's a question in the air. I saw a funny graphic. It was a Venn diagram of swing voters and people who watch the vice presidential debate, 2 separate circles. They're not even linking whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, even though like Waltz, he's like favorited between other, like even all 4 of them, the swing voters aren't watching, so they wouldn't even swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It won't really have that big of a debate, even though, people are saying overall that Vance did a better job in the debate and Walz was still a little iffy with his, debate prep not being perfect. But even if there was that, clear winner to some people's minds, it's not going to really matter at the end of the day because people, people are there voting for Trump or Harris. They're not voting for Vance or Walz.
Exactly.
Yes, for sure.
Now for a weather update. After a week of some cooler temperatures, this weekend is going to be heating back up.
Saturday is staying low with a high of 75, but Sunday is going to heat back up to 85 with some scattered showers. The rest of the week is going to stay cool with temperatures ranging from mid to high 60s with the sun shining.
It's almost time for Daybreak Hotline. Stick with us after the break to hear our theme for this week.
We'll be right back. It's a tough crowd.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Thanks for calling us on the Daybreak hotline and sending in your ideas for this week's segment.
Today we'll be playing a game of this or that with questions from you, our lovely viewers. Are you ready? Is it pronounced caramel or caramel?
I say caramel, I'm sorry.
I say-
do.
I say caramel, or I think I do a little bit of a mix sometimes. I'm like, it flips and flops, like caramel or caramel, really.
I'm
No.
caramel.
Caramel.
But I think I use caramel more.
Caramel all the way.
Caramel corn. Caramel corn. Caramel corn. You say caramel corn.
It depends what I say. I think it depends what word I'm using along with it.
I guess that makes sense, actually.
It's like Pirates
Like
of the Caribbean
situational?
and like the Caribbean.
Yeah, no, that
You
actually
know.
makes a lot of sense.
It's like, yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it.
Yeah.
Another one we have is sunrise or sunset.
That's low-key actually kind of hard. I think I like sunset a little more because like going to like the point or something, I like watching the sunset, and then like the city lights are super duper pretty at night, so I kind of get like both of like good worlds, a little bit of daylight, pretty sky, and then like city lights or stars or whatever.
I think I'll probably have to say sunrise. I'm a morning person. I wake up early automatically. And so I typically, like, whenever I go on vacation to, like, the Outer Banks or something, I'll go and, like, watch the sunrise, like, early in the morning on the beach because it's beautiful. So I'm gonna have to go with sunrise on that one.
Good for you, girl. Could not be me. I mean, I do think sunrise has its perks, like, because then I feel if I'm up that early, I'm like, wow, I'm up that early.
Yep.
But then also, like, sometimes I'm like, I'm up this early. Like, you know, it's like I do pull an all-nighter, or sometimes it can be nice because you're having like a sleepover, and then you're like, oh my gosh, the sun is out. But I think probably sunset for me, just because I'm more likely to see that.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I also am going to have to say sunset because, you know, I don't have to set my alarm to look at the sunset. I'm usually awake. Sometimes I'm taking a big nap, but most of the time I'm awake. From my apartment this year, I have a gorgeous view of the sunset, so I get to see it almost every night if I'm home, and I just think it's beautiful. I've always loved sunsets. It would set over my backyard when I was growing up at home. And so I've always just been a sunset type of person. I like the vibe. And I agree with what you said about the night, like seeing like the city lights and stuff, like all the lights start to turn on, like in little neighborhoods, like the street lamps come on, like the city like lights up.
I also really liked it like when I was camping because it's like campfire time.
You can
like,
see all, and then you start to see all the
roasting
stars. So I'm definitely a sunset person.
Now we have one more. Scooter to the ankle or belly flop in water?
Oh, that's not as fun.
I don't even want to think about it actually. Like I feel like belly flopping is worse. Or if we're talking about like what or whatever, because it's like more body. Your ankle's like your ankle, but it is like your bone.
I don't know. I cannot choose scooter ankle.
That is brutal.
I just like, I think I like strayed away from ever using a scooter like after any of that happening or it hitting your shin. It's just like, it's the most like painful thing. It's worse. I was texting my sister earlier. It's worse than stepping on a Lego. Like it's so much worse.
I don't know.
I can take a belly flop. A belly flop, I may get winded, but I'll be like, well, I'm in the water now. I'm fine. You know?
I don't know. I think I have to go with scooter ankle.
Scooter ankle?
Belly flopping is just so horrible, guys. Like, that pain, like, I never want to go through that again. And I know scooter ankle is horrible too, but I don't know, I feel like it feels more temporary to me. Like, I feel like if I do a belly flop, I feel it for like weeks.
See, I swear whenever, like, if I get hit in the ankle by, like, a scooter, like, I feel that in, like, my teeth. Like, I feel that everywhere. Like, it hurts.
I don't know. I've been hit by a lot of, like, softballs in my life, so it's kind of, like, the same type of vibe. So that's maybe why I pick belly flop, because
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Well, it looks like we're done with our Daybreak hotline. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Daybreak and spending your morning with us.
You can watch our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, UVIEW Television.
Follow our Instagram at DaybreakPPU for updates about our shows and Daybreak hotline links.
We'll see you next week. I'm Gabriella.
I'm Robert.
I'm Savannah.
And I'm Cade. And from all of us here at Daybreak, thank you for watching and have a great day.